Hi everybody, so at long last we're going to get this Speedo built for the Harley. You've seen the image that we drew, so we know we've got a bit of a plan behind us. So we just need to get out all the bits and bobs from the brass tray. So this was the first thing well, this is the main thing here. So that is the first thing we're going to get out. Then we had this old hinge. We're going to cut this off, and this is going to be the mount for the Speedo onto the bike. Then we're going to replace it with copper, which I'm just going to about get that out of there. And I'm not just going to do the small bit in the middle, I'm going to do the whole back, because the contrast with copper and brass is really cool, and it'll look really nice once we polished it up. I'm just hoping this is the first time I'm going to see if the speedometer that we're putting on the Harley, that's the electronic one, it will fit in this casing. Now if this goes in here, we're in business. Oh, look at that, eh? Look at that. So we've got that and we've got that. Right, here we go then. First fitting. Yeah, we need to get rid of that. That's not a problem. Wow, look at that. I mean, it's a bit loose and wobbly, but that is cool. I mean, it's only just pushed in there, but there we are. We're halfway there already. So, right, where is the angle grinder? As usual, my wires are tangled up, but not as bad as normal. Let's try and do it so you can see this. Got the Speedo. Right, so that goes in there. Fits nice now, look at that. Snug fit, everybody. Oh God, look at that. How cool is that? I mean, a little bits, it's these two bits. So we've got to take that area out of this so it can sit within this. We need one slot there. We need another slot there. That's them two slots. And we need one slot there and one slot there. Right, so here we go then. Don't know if you can see them slots there in the other camera. It's a bit of a messy cut that is, but to be honest, we've got a half round file, and I'll finish it off with a file so I can make it accurate, so that they're actually through them slots now. It's actually sitting through, and that side, that is actually in there. And we're going to mark this out because we need to get an exact circle to go on the back of this. So now we're going to get that angle grinder. We're going to just cut that out. Cut out the copper, ready to go, well not ready, but nearly ready to go on the back of here. So there we go on there, like that. Then we can put a screw through them, which will hold the plate on the back of it. So there we have it, the centre line around this little rim. Right guys, so we've got the pilot holes in. Right, all done. All done. There's all the holes. It's getting hot in here. God, it's so hot, this copper, when you're rubbing it down and grinding it. So guys, I reckon that's pretty cool. Dead in line, nice copper back bit on it. You wait to see that polished up. It'll ping like you've never seen anything before. I think what we've got to do now, we've got to forget this for a little while because I need to look at the hinge on the back of it. Do you know what? I might just actually use, I might just take, if you can see this, well, just one of these off, you know, and then use the back of it, or you can just cut it straight off of there. In fact, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut it off there, then I'm going to cut it down at an angle on there so that the speedometer fixes on there. Now the other thing I've got to do, I've got a file which is a little bit half circle, which I want to file these down, but I don't want to damage the bezel because it's a very thin bezel, as you can see in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to lay some silver solder in there now, and that'll just beef up the little bits here around here so that we can file them nicely. To be honest, I might put silver solder in the whole bezel. Now we're going to melt that, and that will flow around there. There it goes. Can you see it rolling round? Can you see the silver solder in there? So that's cool. So that's actually reinforced this little bit with filing away now. So while that's cooling down, we can think about what we're going to do with this. And the plan is, I'm going to cut down there and down there with the angle grinder, just so we've separated it from the hinge, so it's in two separate parts. Let's cut this out then. Right, which way are we going to have all this going? Let's do it this way. Right, so this should come off now. There we have it. You can see that's brass, definitely. There it comes. So that's the hinge, central hinge. Everything's rather hot at the moment. I'm just going to quickly cut it out roughly, just so that we can get an idea of what it's going to look like on the front of the bike. So there we have it. A mounting plate for the Speedo. That's absolutely perfect. So what we're going to do now, we're just going to cut up there through that. Right, here we go. So there we have it, the mount for the Speedo. Speedo is going to sit there on there like that. So we've cut this out of the old hinge. I'm really pleased with this bit because it looks quite cool. I don't know whether to put it into a point or what at the moment, but I guess we've got to probably get this soldered onto the Speedo and then see what it looks like. As you can see, it's beautiful brass, really old school brass, you know, looking cool. I've got this badge. A little Harley-Davidson badge. It's made out of brass. I think it looked really good. I've got to check things aren't hot here. On the top of this, I think facing forward. So what we've got to do, I just want to burn the paint out of that. Then I want to curve it so it fits around there. And then I want to solder it on. I'm just going to drill a curve into, file a curve into this. And this is what we're going to do. We're going to lay this on there when it's red hot. We're just going to tap it down into that curve. I'm going to make sure it's curved for this. We'll just check that's the right curve. I mean, look at that. How good is that, eh? So first things first, we've got to burn the paint off of this. So let's just do that now. So it's cherry red, it's burnt all the paint off. And we're going to do a quick wire brush to get any horrible residues out of it. So we need the curve to be that way round. We need to heat it up. Red hot. Drop it in there, it's going to smoke, so don't worry about that. And then push that down. Now I'm hoping that it's going to be bent round now. It's actually burned itself into the wood, but that's not a problem as long as it's curved. Let's try and put it on there. Oh, look at that, eh? Absolutely perfect. So that's good, that's going to take solder now. Put it on it. Wow, there it goes. Can you see that? How cool is that? You want it going everywhere. Do you think that's cooled down? I was going to touch it, but I just don't want to chance it. Let's just put it on there. I would say there myself. Oh, it's moving. Oh my good God. It's moving, everyone. Take that, take that, take that. I cannot believe it moved. I think that's soldered on now. We just have to wait a little while for it to cool down. Let's give it a good old wire brush, see where we actually are with it. Well, it's on, as you can see. I think that was a good move. I mean, we could actually put this on there now. I'll tell you what, let's just clean this up so it actually looks brass, shall we? So we see where we are. So that's what it's going to look like on the back of the Speedo. I'm going to solder it on with silver solder, but I'm also going to put a hole in there with a thread in it, and I'm then going to put a bolt through here into that thread just as a backup. So it's going down to quite a nice point there. I think that'll look nice. Yeah, I think the point works really well, especially with the Harley badge. So this is really cool already. It's quite smooth. I've got to do a little bit of work in there. I can see there's a bump there. So I'm inclined to actually run these down here and out of there, or out of a sort of hole there. So then you won't even see the wiring, so it'll look even nicer, I think. I've just gone ahead and took the Speedo to bits, and this is what I'm left with, just this. So I've stripped it right down, but the wires used to come out the top, So I've bent them all back and now they're coming out the bottom. Now these wires go downwards, we can get it down there. So what I just need to do now, we had that little hole thing at the bottom. I'm just going to open that out. But I think we're okay there. We've got a circle there, a bit shaped to do this. How cool is that? Look at that. So now we've got a nice circular hole at the base of the Speedo. So we're sort of getting there now. So I'm just going to have a recap where we are. I've actually gone ahead and took the bolts off the back of this because I've realised that it sits inside this casing and it doesn't need to be bolted to the back. It's all sealed in by the top. So of course, before when this was coming out the back, we had a hole for that. Then I had the 2 holes I drilled for this. But now I'm thinking to make it look even better, when this sits, so this is going to sit on here to put it on the bike, I think it'd be nice to have another small circle of copper in there. So it just give it some, when it's all polished up, I think it'll just give it that extra little touch. So we're going to cut that out, then we're going to solder that on there. I think it'll look really cool actually. Let's get this circular. So there we have it. Another circle, and I think visually it's sometimes better. We're going to have it there, that's where it's going to be. Happy with that? So let's solder this. Let's get some solder on it. First we need some flux paste. Probably want to flux that as well. In fact, look, it's melting on it already. That's how hot that is. And it's moving. Oh, that's interesting. Look at that moving now. It's exactly what we want to happen. Right. So I would say about there. Right, that's on. So that's going to go on there now. So now we're going to get this fitted on. So I've just drilled this out and very gently we just let it find its way in. So I can feel that cutting now into the brass. Clean that. So now this will screw into there. There we go, so we can fix that onto the Speedo now. Perfecto. Now I need to just clean up this because, as you see, we've got solder running around on it, so that's not good news, but I think as it's solder we can just take it off with a knife. Yeah, look at that, everybody. I don't have to take it all off because the polishing mop will take a lot of it off. It's looking good already without a polish, just with a rub down. I have got this, you know, I could try this on here. So you don't want to scratch it, like I said. Let's see how this goes. I'll tell you what, I'm going to put some gloves on because I'm bound to catch my hand with this like I normally do. It got me there. See, I told you I should have put gloves on. So that's looking good. Well worth catching my hand with it, but as you can see, I mean that's with gloves on, and it just caught me there, and it caught me there, but that's inside there, so you know, a bit dodgy. So there we have it. So okay, so that's okay. That's okay, that's okay. That is looking well cool. I'm just going to put the back on so we can see what's going on. Let's get this on. Now another task, let's try and find the screws from it. Now I did put them away, but they was rusty, weren't they? The life of a screw, eh? Nearly just got chucked in the bin, but now it's part of a Harley-Davidson. So there we have it. Speedo. I've just got to get a grommet. I'm going to make a grommet to go in there. I think that's looking really cool. Shall I just show you what it's going to look like on the bike? Let me just grab the camera and we'll just come across here to the bike. So I can't see what you're seeing here, but I hope you're seeing where it's going to go. So that'll probably go through there. I think, no. That's going to go, it's going to go through somewhere, but I'm just going to poke it through there for the time being. And that is going to sit there. And I reckon that looks pretty cool. Nearly done now. The next video is going to show us polishing, getting it shiny like gold. Like, subscribe and punch that bell if you want to be updated on the next video in the series. See you soon and big thanks. We really appreciate it.